Hello everyone, welcome to Season 4, Episode 2 of Deploy the Garrison. I'm your host Kris, and joining me as always this season, we have Alan. How are you, my man?
I'm doing great. Ready to talk about some more Legion. It's been a month.
It's been a while. I mean, I feel like Episode 1 didn't really count because we got to cheat and have the wills on, right? So it didn't feel like just us catching up and just talking Legion like we have been. So it's nice to get a little sense of normality back into the show.
Yeah, it's good. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'm confident. I think we'll be okay. So we have our normal
they can
format.
see us now, so
yeah. I mean, true. We are continuing with the YouTubes, so that'll be interesting. I have to remember to engage with the audio. I was contemplating the AI eyes, so I had fake eye contact, but I'll do my best to not. If anyone hasn't seen that update on NVIDIA Broadcast, you should try it. And
it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's
not good either.
Don't use that on any professional calls, please. But yeah,
it's good for a laugh, and that's about it.
Yeah, we have our officer's mess, and then we've got our main topic, which I get to lead this time because I played a game, and Alan is not yet playing a game because he's playing tomorrow. So in juxtaposition, we have that just change up, right? I'm the one who gets to talk about my experiences playing Legion for a change. And no spoilers, but it's been a while. Turns out packing up all the Legion in January and shipping it to the UK means that you don't play much Legion. This was my first game in 2025. When I was like setting up, I was like, it's Q2 already. It's second quarter of the year and I haven't put... How do I justify being on a podcast about Star Wars Legion? It turns out I don't. I just do it anyway because why? No one can stop me. It's fine.
They just let you.
Yeah, but it turns out sometimes they just let you. So do you want to open with the serious part of the officer's mess or the fun part of the officer's mess?
Let's get the serious part out of the way.
Okay.
And then we can have fun the rest of the day.
So this one's an interesting topic because I actually had I was working on an article and I don't know that I'm going to bother now because I feel like that it's behind the curve a little bit. But I was working on an article about the tariffs and how it will affect like gaming and everything like that. And obviously we just recently, I saw it yesterday. So I believe that was when it was posted by AMG that they've delayed a couple of releases for Shatterpoint and then what was the Legion releases again? It's I have the web page open.
Journalistic
right
integrity.
Yeah, they've delayed the releases that were due to come out in June, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, it got pushed back. So Outer Rim Outlaws and IG Series Assassin Droids.
Yeah.
So that's the rebox of Mando, Grogu, and Rebel Boba. And then the two IGs.
So I'm waiting for comment because I used, as Alan was joking about, I actually did use journalistic ethics and I've reached out to AMG for comment and I've been put through to Asmodee and I'm waiting for a comment from Asmodee for my article. So if I get a comment, I'll write it up. If I don't, it'll probably... I'll probably end up having to go to press with no comment was offered. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I was asking about the starter sets and if they were landed in country to kind of hold that really competitive price point that we'd spoken about. Basically, I'm not going to politicize the conversation because I don't feel like it needs it at all. It was more supposed to be just the likely outcomes of the tariffs and what companies are likely to do. And I feel like AMG have taken the safest option, which is you just don't get it shipped. You hold it off out of country until there's another break in the tariffs, and then you bring them in and try and get around it that way. Because you have options, obviously, with the tariffs. Like Games Workshop has a facility in, I think it's in Memphis, where they repackage and warehouse stuff. And like repackaging something, that's the last major change, so you can kind of count it as being made in the US. So like, you see a lot for the Target exclusives from Games Workshop. If you're in the US, they will be stated as made in the US. Designed in the UK, manufactured in the US. And that's a way of getting around the tariffs, but it does involve Games Workshop having spent millions and millions of dollars 7 years ago now, I think it was. Previously. I think it was 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, So, not everyone has a time machine, so...
yeah. Well, also, like, wouldn't the raw materials that are being shipped over those are still being tariffed anyway, though?
Yeah, you kind of get to play the game, though, right? You get to pay the lower rates of tariffs because you're
tariffing from England, which is a very different rate than
China,
from Chinese goods, which
so
like
and I feel like it's kind of breaking it down. Like I said, I didn't want to get it too politicized, so kind of going through reasons why I think this has happened and why I think that it was the most expected outcome. If they didn't already have a product landed, I think this is the only thing they can do. Other than soaking the loss. Because I've seen a lot of different things on social media of like, I'll release it in the rest of the world, do this, do that, kind of thing. And it's not... The market share of the US is enormous for these companies and these... I mean, the sales to the US for Star Wars Legion are probably more than all of Europe. At a guess. I don't have the numbers to hand, but my gut would say that it's going to be higher. And you can't leave the US out of that release. And yes, everybody else normally suffers, and like sometimes product will arrive early in Australia, and as they're kind of developing that network.
Sure.
But as a strategy, I feel like the only options you have are delay or raise prices, and the state that that's the best way. Yeah, so not the state of the game is a negative, but the fact that they've just done this huge rework and then are relaunching it with this push for really affordable starter boxes, instantly undermining that because of tariffs, is probably not a good look. This isn't a good look either, but to me, it's the lesser of the two evils that you have on the table. Oh, I don't know.
It's not a situation that anyone wants to be in, but here we are.
Yeah, and ultimately, there are many people to answer to in this chain, right? It's Asmodee's distribution that AMG uses, and all of those profits tier down, right? So,
right.
Yeah, it might not be 150%. I don't even know what the tariff. Again, I've not really been paying attention because it doesn't affect me anymore. I don't have to source much of my stuff from the US anymore, so it's not a huge deal to me personally.
Sure,
but having that cost added in at that stage, it was exponential growth. I think there's a really good article that features commentary from there's one that goes into Frosthaven, the Gloomhaven 2nd edition. I believe that's been delayed as well for the same reasons. And then there's another one by a publishing house. I think it might have been Stonemeyer. I don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, Stonemeyer is in there.
And they actually talk about what this price increase means. So, like, if it increases by $6 at this stage, that goes into like a $50 increase at the register. And I'm kind of remembering I should have pulled all of this info up before we started to make sure I was quoting correctly. But I feel like that's about right. I think a $6 increase now gets you to above a $30-$40 increase at point of sale for customers. Which
Right.
Yeah, you know, if you assume that it's only costing $6 a box for them to produce what was a $50 box. Oh, what was that? Talking for the start sets, it was $90 or $95.
95 was the advertised. So yeah.
So
hopefully it doesn't go up above.
You'd expect if the cost of a model is in that at $12, they're now $195, and
sure,
that kind of puts paid to your really affordable route back into a hobby, right? So, yeah, I think the correct thing to do is delay. It sucks. It sucks for stores as well because stores are waiting to get product on the shelves because, like, as we're going to talk about for you in a minute, like, people are starting to ramp up Legion again now. So
we're getting excited again.
Yeah, I mean,
and
be upset.
Now the boats have to do hop laps off the coast.
Yeah, like, be upset about it. Be disappointed. I don't know that you can blame anyone. We're just an unfortunate side effect in a much larger game, right? And it's not a game that we get to play. We just get to see the outcomes of it. So, yeah. And that's it. That's kind of all I wanted to say on that. The article is a lot better researched, shall we say? So if I do publish it, I'll retroactively throw a link into the show notes. But just make sure you're following DiceHate, get on a Discord, and you'll see a link there. And I'll tell you what, even if I end up doing it, I'll just publish a rough draft of it onto Patreon if I have to. You know. I'll make sure. I spent all this time researching. But yeah, I kind of wanted to address that elephant in the room first, get it out of the way. So a little bit less fun than our normal officer's mess, but we're going to make up for it in the main topic being all about me getting to play a game. So that's kind of bouncing it around, you know, it'll be okay. But as we hinted at there,
we'll be okay.
Yeah. What do you have for the officer's mess, Alan?
Well, I don't have anything yet as far as past games, but we've been preparing because as of recording, tomorrow is Sunday, May 4th. So may the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day. Been getting ready. We set this up probably a month ago or more, getting ready to do a tournament. So we used to do monthly tournaments, and then people got burned out on that. People got busy, so we've switched to more quarterly-ish tournaments, and then we're going to be firing up a league soon for Legion at our store. And so we're going to do a recon tournament just because, you know, people wanted to do a shorter length game and kind of ease back into Legion. And then we threw in a twist. We went with Highlander list building restrictions. So
explain that to our listeners.
It's a fun little twist. Yeah. So if you haven't heard of it, Highlander is based off of similar to like Commander in Magic, but it's shamelessly a nod to the movie. There can be only one. So for each slot or each unit type, you can only have one copy of whatever that is. So a little more forgiving in Recon, but so you can only have one of each core trooper type. You can have for like clones, they only have one core trooper, so they just have to be outfitted differently. They have to be unique to each other. But otherwise, just regular recon tournament. We're at the 600 points now. In our new current rule set. So I don't think anybody here has played recon or skirmish as it used to be with all of the new rules. So it should still be different and new for everybody.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I know you sent me a list and I was like, well, why don't you just run this? You're like, oh, it's Highland, I didn't tell you, which made more sense.
Yeah. Yes, that list would be better. However, I forgot to mention. Yeah, it's Highlander. So,
but yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting about that in the future, seeing how it went, and the fact that your turnout's looking like it's taken a dramatic increase as well. Hopefully, it's a good foundations to build from, right?
Yep, that's my hope as well. Yeah, we've got 10 people registered right now, so things are looking good. I'm getting excited.
Yeah, so I mean that kind of moves us on to the main topic, right? New Legion. I still haven't settled on vernacular for it, and I have not really been overly concerned about what the internet. Well, you know me, I'm never overly concerned about what the internet's doing. So yeah, I think just New Legion is where I'm going to go for the rest of the episode. If people hate it, just throw a comment in there, and we'll probably not change. You know, at some point it'll stop being New Legion and just go back to being Legion. But yeah, I decided that I was going to make the trip out to Element Games in the UK. They've got their the Northern Gaming Centre, Northwest Gaming Centre, something like that. But it's a big store, big gaming space, lots and lots of product, lots and lots of models. So I went on Saturday last week to kind of put my head through a door, see what the thing was for how it all worked, what nights people played on. And it was Wednesdays, so didn't have any plans on Wednesday. So I'd organised a game in the evening, but Wednesdays I have a lot of time at the moment because Evie's now in school. My youngest Ayla gets picked up by her grandmother and taken to daycare. Jill was doing prep for a job interview, so I was like, I'll just leave at 2:00 and see what happens. So I'd spent a lot of time umming and ahhing over what list to take, trying to find all the boxes and unpack different things. I was going to play a Shadow Collective list, but it wasn't finished painting. The increase to 1,000 points kind of hurt the Shadow Collective because I had a very narrow focus on what I was doing with it. And I know it wasn't a painting requirement, but I was like, well, it's my first time. I want to make a good impression. So the only list I could make that I was happy with being fully painted was my Wookiees, because all I do was take my non-Yoda list that was 800 points in old money, and then I add in Yoda, and suddenly it's a 1,000-point list, right?
Yep, easy. Yeah, simple as.
That's what I thought. So I did that. I took Yoda, with Force Barrier and Force Reflexes. Then I took Chewbacca with Protector and Tenacity. I don't have my list up, so I'm actually literally doing this all from memory. So Alan can correct me if I'm wrong. And I took some
let's see.
Wookiee Noble Warriors with a Bowcaster. I took 3 units of Noble Warriors with Battle Shields. Those are the combat ones. Then I took 1 unit of Shooty Wookiees with a Bowcaster. They had tactical push. Man, I can't remember all the card names. Tactical push.
Offensive push.
Offensive push that gives them tactical for tapping the card or exhausting the card. Alan's been a hero there and just linking back to it. And then...
Yep, no problem.
Yeah, targeting scopes as well, because obviously we're rolling lots of white dice, so you kind of need those extra rerolls. And then I had 3 Fluttercraft with NASP gunners. Is that?
Yep.
Raduk, NASP, Fluttercraft, Attackcraft for a full name there. And yeah, I felt pretty comfortable. I know we kind of had a bit of back and forth on the list, but it's
a little bit.
5 bowcasters in there, 6 bowcasters with Chewie as well. At 3 on the Fluttercraft.
Yeah, you got
the Wookiee defenders.
Yep.
So the Kashyyyk defenders and the Wookiee warriors have 1 each, and then Chewie. So 6 bowcasters in there. I felt gave me enough pierce and a little bit of impact. And I had Yoda for his lightsaber, obviously 4 red, impact 2, pierce 2, and he gets to attack twice. So if you stay in combat with him, it's fine.
Yep, seems good.
But yeah, then command cards, I went with Yoda's cards, Chewie's card pairs with Yoda. Size matters sometimes,
right?
And then the 2 Wookiee ones, which have got new names now, which I didn't use. I used the old ones because that's what I had. But it's the same cards. They've just cleaned up the language. They
got new names.
So weirdly, in Tabletop Admiral, both still exist because technically they have different names of different cards. So I assume at some point it'll have to be fixed in there because I don't think you're supposed to take 2 of the same card for each one. But yeah, it's just a language cleanup.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 1 pip lets you. I think it gives you names or something. I can't remember, but it has to have been issued by a Wookiee at HQ. And then the 3 pip gives them demoralize, but has to have been issued by Wookiee HQ, so only a Chewbacca can trigger those. And it's Yoda, right? You're never planning on using them. And then I'd arranged a game against Mitch in the evening, but I got there early, so I was going to play Simon. And he was wrapping up a game with Sam Page, who I met as well. He's the main UK, or at least definitely in the Northwest, and he's like the community leader for Element Games for Legion. So I was talking to him about TOE stuff, and I've got a bunch of dice and things if he wants for any giveaways. And seeing as no one's actually asked us on Patreon for any of those cards and stuff, time's ticking down for people to come and ask to get copies of Sleeper Cells or Riot Trooper alternate arts.
Oh, it's weird I asked, though.
I know, and then I forgot to give it you at Adepticon, so get wrecked. But yeah, so
shipping's a pain, isn't it?
It turns out that there's a Legion event this weekend at Element Games. Today, 3 rounds today, 2 rounds tomorrow. I was like, nah, can't do that because I had gaming planned Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Then I have stuff on today, and I've got potentially I might get to go and game tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it's been a hell of a week. So Simon finished up his
understandable
game. He was running a rebel list against Sam's Republic, and then he got red saves. Kind of did pretty well for Sam from what I saw of that game. He just passed a lot of saves on Ahsoka when she was down to 1 wound, and she just lived. And so that was an Anakin Ahsoka list that Sam was running against some Sweeper Cell and Bad Batch and stuff. It was fun. But that meant that Simon said he didn't want to play Rebels. He wanted to try a different list for the event. So he pulled out double sabers and arcs and Cody, ATRT, and then 3 or 4 units of corpse troopers, a clone commander. It was like an 11 activations with 2 sabers and an AGRT. I was like, ooh, I don't feel as good about my impact now.
Boy.
Maybe I could have brought more bowcasters. And then,
I told you more bowcasters.
you did. So I lamented that none of the Wookiees got to provide backup. So I was very sad. And then me and Alan were talking earlier how Chewie should have been providing backup. So that'll be a point of order. Yep. The game might have gone very differently had I remembered this, because it was really close as it was anyway. But sure. I misplayed turn 1. I kind of pushed a little bit too far, which gave him a couple of avenues. He got into range of a fluttercraft with his ARC troopers with their scout move and everything, and he just hit the that opening salvo right when you've got the. It moves on the clones around where the arcs are going to be. They all take aim tokens. And then the arcs move, move, shoot. And they've got like 50 million aims to pull from now. And then I just failed all of my saves on my fluttercraft. So we one-shot a fluttercraft right away. I tried to just keep pinging that 1 unit of arcs, just everything I can throw into a unit of arcs, because the sabers are going to be annoying, but depending on where he deploys them, I suppose we'll talk about the mission. It was closer pocket. The secondary was recon, and I had a pass for my advantage, which I used turn 1, activation 1, but pass. I'm not putting something on right away.
Correct.
Yeah. That's my advantage burned. He had strafing run, didn't need it. And yeah, it was really weird. Like that back and forth turn 1, I felt like I couldn't fit any what's it called? The recon intel. Is that the one that gives you scout 1? Yeah.
It's the one that gives you a scout move.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yep. You can tell how long it's been since I've played Star Wars Legion. I couldn't fit any in the list because obviously it's 8 points for the upgrade now, and the Wookiees are expensive, and I don't take any cheap throwaway clone units, so I don't have that room to pad. Everything's kind of in there with a purpose. Right. And initially, I'd had the Wookiee warriors who have a bowcaster. They were just a naked unit, and everybody else got basically 31 points worth of recon intel. But I was like, the extra bowcaster is probably going to be worth it. I brought them on the wrong side of the table, and they did nothing other than claim a wide objective for... they scored 4 points, but they were pretty... Sure. They shot once and didn't really do much. So that should have been a battle shield squad. Should have gone that way. I should have kept the bowcaster more central. So that was a big misplay. And then I had Yoda was overexposed a little bit because I was trying to keep him in range for force barrier, but the only place I could put him, you could get line of sight to him, and both sabers kind of popped in at that point of his last 2 activations and just opened up on Yoda. And I forgot about Chewie being able to do backup, and Yoda took 4 wounds in turn 1. So conservatively, if I'd have backed up, like 4 of those hits would have gone away. So maybe it only takes 2 wounds instead of 4. It would have been it would have been different, like, because I then had to pull Yoda back because so going into turn 2 with Yoda on 1 wound, 2 saber tanks can see him. If he gets first activation, Yoda's dead, right? Yeah, So I had to burn size matters not my Yoda 1 pip to get him speed 3 and so move him away from my action. So it was really tight, and then he opened up on Chewie instead, and it kind of... Chewie was on 2 wounds, Yoda was on 1 at the end of turn 2. And I was like, this is... Because obviously I can no longer force barrier because I've had to move Yoda out of line of sight. You know what I mean? There was a whole bunch of all this stuff. And I killed the arcs. I just kept... Ignore the clone troopers, ignore the sabers, just kill the arcs. I got 1.5 arc units down pretty quickly. And turn 3 was my my gamble, everything to see if I could kind of make it a real game or not. Because I think at that point I was already 2 points behind, and it was going to stop because Yoda was my my recon carrier as well, and I've just hidden him. So I didn't score my secondary in turn 2. He did. I did a bunch of... The terrain was frustrating because it was just over the height of a silhouette. So I couldn't split my my heights. I had to be all on one level.
Oh, yeah. So
I could block his path to... I was trying to block the sabers from being able to contest, but I couldn't push from far enough back. You know what I mean? It was just a bunch of little things that I was like, this will be a really good play. And I couldn't quite pull it off. But yeah, I didn't get to use guidance once on Yoda. There were very few instances of being able to trigger the free move for the Wookiees, and it doesn't trigger charge anymore, which... The Wookiee battle force has hit so hard. Please, AMG, please give me something. This move can trigger charge. Just put it just a little blue text in the battle force. It'll be fine. It's a speed 1 move. No one will mind. And if they do, they're playing Wookiees, which is what we want in a Wookiee battle force. Give me something. But yeah, I don't know. It was hard. I played my favorite thing of playing this list, right, is size matters sometimes.
Yeah.
So I pulled it off turn 3. I bounced Yoda out from behind. It was in range 1 of Chewie, but it was completely obscured, so it didn't get shot with his 1 wound. So he bounced range 1 to where Chewie was. Then Chewie at this point was enraged because he'd been beaming off the shots from Yoda into Chewie, because Chewie was there to Guardian, so he was also there to get beamed. Yeah, and I only have so many force barriers to throw around. But I charged Chewie into the side of the saber tank, carrying Yoda as my Yoda delivery system. Chewie got one wounding off his charge. It was a double move, and then he gains charge because of Enrage. And then my next activation, he didn't move it away. So Yoda's like, well, I'm in base contact with this thing as well. I'm going to double attack because I can. He ripped the saber. I rolled well. I got 4 hits both times. It was 1 crit, 3 hits. It was both
weak point.
Yeah. So I just got it every time. I was like, oh yeah, we're dead saber tank.
Here it comes.
Yeah, 2 activations, saber tank down. Yeah, game on. And then he shot Yoda again, and he was dead. The other saber tank did the last wound on Yoda. But yeah, it was really, like I say, it was a really interesting game. If I'd have remembered back up, like I say, that it can trigger, it would have been different, I think, because Yoda could have, well, just mopping up those arcs or being there for force barrier, that kind of thing, and just being alive to contest these objectives would have been great. And, you know, having command cards to play would have been nice.
Sure.
But we went into turn 4. I tied the score up at 7-7. Which was a hell of a comeback in my eyes.
I'd agree.
some cunning positioning to get me onto a middle objective and actually score the middle for one turn was pretty close. And I clutched out by, instead of doubling down on trying to take the left-hand objective, I moved my unit who would have helped me contest it to pick up the recon token that Yoda had dropped, and also lock down the ARC troopers that had picked up his recon token off the saber tank that Yoda had killed that had dropped. So he'd moved two ARCs over there, but they were then, if they stayed where they were that turn, they couldn't see anything because there was a line of sight blocking piece of terrain. So my Wookiees
just out of position.
Yeah, my Wookiees charged them to lock them down, so that when they activate, they only get to see one unit, not two, so he doesn't score. But I can see them and the other saber tank. So I scored one and stopped him from scoring one. Yeah. So that was
nicely done.
Yeah, and it was because he was practicing for an event as well. I was pretty open about, I think you've you've made a mistake on this move. The way you've engaged here, you were letting me bounce my unit leader into the engagement, where I now get to place him, so he's now contesting the objective. Whereas if you'd have engaged into my unit leader, I get to engage the other models, but that wouldn't change the unit leader's position to be closer to the objective of a point of, you know what I mean? So there was a couple of instances there where we kind of talked back and forth, and if I position like that, I feel like you need to move a little bit more over because I think you're trying to do this. It's like, yeah, I am. Yeah, so you need to do it this way.
Just getting the little nuances.
Yeah.
Tweaks, right?
But yeah, it was a solid list. I remember when Cody came out, right, we were talking about how solid of a stat line he had. He did, every shot was impactful, every action, his observed tokens, his command cards, it's such a good package. I think he still is worthy of leading a list without any lightsabers in it. I think he's good enough, and it opens up the saber tanks. So I was pretty sure you'd enjoy that list if it's not exactly what you were running, I don't think, but the extra arcs in there.
It's similar. Yeah, it's similar. He has arcs, whereas I went full in on armor, so I have, and I've got a lot of repair options. Yeah. So I have at least three engineers in mine, and then R2D2. Yeah, double saber, double flamer RTs. Yeah. So I was going more in on the armor. Than the arcs.
Yeah, the arcs are so efficient. Even just the four of them, that alpha that they can pull off
sure
is just and that's the state of Legion at the moment, right? With the current mission packs, that alpha strike, even with just four, it hurts. That's what Sweeper Cell do, right? And they can do it just as well and have better armor. So, he passed an impervious save against my bowcaster. I was so sad.
Rude.
Yeah. Well, I didn't bring this PS1 to not use it.
Right. 100%.
Well, yeah, we got to turn 5 and we kind of talked through it. I was like, look, I needed to kill his ATRT, and I'd forgotten that it has red saves in Republic. So I kind of mapped out how much fire I've been putting into it on the assumption it had white saves. And I'd just not even noticed him when he was rolling the dice, it never until I put in my my shooty Wookiees, and they had a hot roll in turn 1. Like their first shot was pretty good, but I mean that's the offensive push shot, right? They kind of they get relentless turn 1 from there is no try, and then they kind of move up, move. They get their extra aim, and you just go for it. But yeah, I didn't. I didn't have it. It was they low rolled for the rest of the game, and I think I got 1 wound on the ATRT, and Like it was I needed impact 1 to get that. I just didn't roll any crits. I didn't roll enough hits to push through his armor. Is it armor 3? Is it for the DtG or armor 2? Yeah, but it was irrelevant. 2. I just I didn't get high enough, and he had 2 wounds left. I did 1, and that was it. It meant that he would have had to massively misplay to lose. So we kind of like, okay, if you just move Cody in now to contest, you just win.
That's it. Yeah.
Because like, I'll score 1 there, you'll score 1 there, and that will tie it up. All you then have to do is get another unit to move it from contesting this to pushing it over, suppress one of my units, kill one of you. You know what I mean? There's so many different paths.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Yeah, or the secondary even.
Right.
But yeah, so I think the game ended 8 to 10. I think is where we kind of landed. And again,
still a close game. I mean, it sounds like it especially swung back and forth a couple of times.
Yeah. I never got into a lead. I got to parity.
Sure.
Yeah. But now that I think about Yoda potentially having a couple of extra wounds would have been nice. Because again, like I could have Guardianed again because he wouldn't once Chewbacca's is enraged, he can't be suppressed anymore.
Enraged.
So enraged. He can just keep back up in all the time because he's never suppressed anymore.
Yep. 100%.
And it would have been interesting. So
because you probably would have saved a few wounds because when he died and then at the beginning.
Because Chewie was still alive when Yoda went down. But like those sabers, man. Even with 1 or 2 aims, he was getting 7, 8 hits in every time, and it was. They're
pretty good.
The clones can still gunline if they want to. I'm just saying. You don't have to play super offensive objective grabbers. You can still blow stuff up from range 4 with those tanks. What do you think?
I mean, it sounds like you had a good time at least. I mean, that's the important part, right? Did you have fun?
I did, yeah. It was really good.
You still like Legion?
Oh, I loved it. I'm lamenting a little bit of... it's really difficult to kind of parse my feelings on it because I know that there's a large portion of my problems with Wookiee defenders is self-inflicted. That I won't take a unit of arcs. I'm not taking a unit of clones to give me an extra source of backup. I'm forcing the Yoda Chewie interactions because I really love size matters sometimes. It's a really fun interaction. So I understand that I've kind of lowered my own power level. But I feel like the changes to Relentless, Steady, and Charge, coupled with that's what my play style for this battle force relied upon. So like Yoda feels very like I dropped so much stuff off him to just go force barrier, force reflexes because none of it does anything anymore. Like you're just relying on his stat block being there to. Like this is the first game I've ever played with this list where I never once thought about using guidance. Like, it's not going to gain me anything. So it felt, normally you'd use it on the size matters sometimes turn to give him extra mobility because it's how you kind of cheat him not being able to move. You just guidance Chewie and then you can get him into a combat that way. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do. It's fine, don't worry. And it's still really fun. But
it's a lot more niche. It's a lot more niche now than it was, rather than fairly ubiquitous.
Yeah. So I listened to Notorious Scoundrels. That's right. 5th Trooper's interview was the Notorious Scoundrels one. Yeah. So I listened to Evan lamenting Wookiees and the Wookiee arc argument, and I had it rammed down my throat. In person, my Wookiees playing against his arcs with sabers, and I was like, I see it now. It all becomes clear.
Yep.
It's all so evident. And hopefully there's something. I don't know what I would do. Like I joke about, obviously, just change the PDF for the Battle Force. Let me ignore some rules here. Let them count as corps for purposes of backup as well. You were already saving count as corps units for battle cards and what's it? List building and battle cards or something. So just add it and backup. Let the Wookiees back up people.
Sure.
Let me ignore the rule.
I mean, they're effectively your core.
Yeah. So
they're your core at that point. So you may as well. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I never liked that terminology of they took things away from me, because it didn't. Stuff changed that happens to impact the Battle Force I'm currently trying to play. They didn't take anything away from me. I still have those memories of the game and getting to sneakily charge because you shot me. But that's the fun of the list, right? Like, oh man, if I shoot this Wookiee unit, they're going to get closer and he might charge me. So, I shoot this Wookiee, one dies, and then he doesn't even bother moving them because it doesn't trigger anything. So, yeah.
Sure.
They do play better into the progressive scoring that the game has now. So the fact that I could keep it so close, in spite of the those two early mistakes that I mentioned, I definitely got better at the game. Turn 2 on, you know what I mean? The ring rust kind of fell off as the game progressed. But
sure,
yeah. And hopefully Simon does well. He said it's a 2-day event. He's hopefully he's doing well, and he's going to go for day 2 as well. Because you automatically qualify. It's 5 rounds of Swiss, but it was like if he's not doing well, he's got a busy day on Monday. He's a driver, so he's got a lot of driving to do. So I get it. But hopefully his practice game can pull him through. And we went through a couple of options for potential changes. I kind of agreed with your stance of maybe trying to move a couple of things around and just max out on ATRTs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe drop a commander and just have Cody as your sole HQ to get a second ATRT, and then just have even more armor to shield wall.
Yep. Yeah, my whole thing was like all the troops hide behind it, and then they pop out as needed, and then just keep either the ATSTs or the ATRTs or the sabers topped up was the whole thought process behind my list. But it's really hard to ignore arcs. It might be just as valid a play to cut some things down to get another arc unit if he hasn't maxed out on.
Oh, but he's got 3. He had 3. Don't worry.
Oh, he's already got 3. Okay, yeah. 3 arcs, 2 sabers, 2 ATRTs. Let's go.
It was only he had to drop. He dropped 1 ATRT to get the clone commander to get an extra direct in there, which I think is viable. Yeah, like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with his list at all. I think it has that skill check level, right, of being double heavies, that you get. Some lists are just not going to be able to deal with it. I got very lucky to one-shot a saber. I got into the side, but I was trading Yoda for a tank because I knew I needed to at that point. But I wouldn't say that's going to be a regular occurrence. But putting 9 wounds onto it in 1 round felt good. my little lightsaber gremlin got him. Yeah.
Chopping up the entire side of a tank.
Well, what happened was I was like, I I could try and kill this saber tank. And Yoda was like, there is no try, man. Just get me in there and I'll show you how little trying there is. Yeah, he really wanted that tank dead.
Here, hold these 8 hits with Pierce 4. Don't you worry about it. Or 8 crits, even. Just like
it was fun. I enjoyed that turn immensely. I think I posted a picture of that on the Discord. It was Yoda and Chewie, just best friends.
Yep, hanging out, murdering tanks.
Yeah.
See, this was after Order 66 came through, so you had to fight the clones, obviously.
That was my entire headcanon. That's why I don't take clones, because then I can headcanon my way into every matchup. And if it's a mirror match, that's just a dark side vision.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was me. I've got a little bit of whining about Wookiees out there. I don't want to do too much because I feel like not to pile on Evan too much, but the argument's already been made. I will just add some weight to that argument. Whatever my one casual game in New Legion, I suppose my one tournament practice game. I was like, look. If I was going to try and win an event, this isn't a list that I would take. I will give you the best game that I'm able to with this list. And I feel like I've fulfilled that obligation.
No, 100%. I mean, 7-7 to the end of 4 is like, you better have a plan to lock this in on turn 5.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at least in my experience at Worlds, either it was very close at the end all the way through, or is a blowout, and in which case you have to be able to make sure you're in the right positions.
Yeah.
To turn that game on the last turn, whatever that turn happens to be.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like we're still not quite there for reacting to the changing pace of the game. Because I lost 2 of my fluttercraft, which are generally the things I use for killing a lot of core. Like, that's my anti-red red dice infantry weapon, right? Those fluttercraft generally are pretty reliable at helping with that. And I was down 2 of them.
Right.
And the 3rd died in turn 2. Right.
Sure.
I was down activation, but yeah, you kind of got to plan that path through to victory. And obviously I was lucky in that he didn't have a big melee threat to just throw into a Wookiees. But like, it's not like he can throw a Vader into me and kind of just kill a unit every turn. He's got to kind of grind through them. And once he had to start shooting my walking carpets, it kind of, that did come into play. Having those, making sure every unit was 12 wounds kind of helped.
Yep. Yeah. Just because you have the volume of health to weather the fire.
I deployed a battle shield as well. I very rarely deploy, but I very rarely put it down and take the armor. But the one that was stood on the central objective, he kept hitting me in combat with the ATRT. I was like, okay, putting my shield down. I've got to roll crits anyway, so it being red dice or black dice is irrelevant. So I'm just going to put my shield down. If you're going to stay in combat with me, I'm going to play this armor game too, and you've only got 3 attacks, so it's impossible for you to kill a Wookiee in 1 round of combat. Unless he rolls 3 crits off his dice, obviously. But mathematically, it's then
it's unlikely.
Yeah. And I'm rolling it started off as 8 dice, but it's irrelevant if they're red or black because I need the crits because I wasn't getting the volume through. Every time, I think I'd roll 2 crits and 2 hits. So I get 2 through because the crits were already going through anyway, and the 2 hits go away to armor.
Yeah.
it's better than when armor was just all of them. But yeah, I don't.
100%.
Yeah, but he rolled those lines really well this game. For my dice cooperated with the number on his armor real well. Oh, what's that? You can have one crit because you've got impact 1, and the rest are just the same number of hits as his armor. Oh well, there's 1 then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just didn't bother. I deflected 1 wound. I only got 1 deflect in from the volume of fire onto Yoda as well.
Sure.
Chewie didn't get to deflect anything when he was red saving. Yeah, but it's so fun. I just love Chewie dropping Yoda into combat, going, "Look,
here you go, bud.
We're here
Let it rip
to chew bubble gum and kick some ass, and we're all out of bubblegum." How would you feel if Yoda made it to combat whilst his friend here rolled 5 red attack dice, and then Yoda got all of his attacks because he didn't need to waste any actions getting here? And next turn, I can play Size Matters Not. Yeah, it's good. I do like it. I like it a lot.
Yep. I saw that photo. I'm like, oh, that Saber had a bad day.
Yeah.
Bad days.
So I'll definitely play this list again and kind of experiment a little bit more. I think I can do better with it than I showed today. And then the Shadow Collective list is my kind of next batch of painting projects for Legion. I've kind of put the experimental droids just on hold because it's a big project, so your entire list needs painting. And I don't have a permanent painting setup at the moment. So I'm just trying to get little wins if I can. So I've got the 4 swoop bikes that I'm working on for my Shadow Collective list. And then I've got 4 Mandos to do. And that'll give me a completely different Shadow Collective list to play. Very fast. 4 units of 4 Mandalorians, Gar Saxon, and 2 units of swoop bikes, and 2 units of pikes and a pike capo just to sit in the back. But that should be a very fast defensive list that I think I'll enjoy. And then I think after that I should be looking at where to expand. I'm not sure if I'm just going to grind out painting pikes so I can change my Shadow Collective list up, or if I'm going to jump to a different thing. I have been tempted by Empire because of everyone telling me they're the weakest faction, and that urge to make my life more difficult. I'm like, weakest faction, I hear, but weakest battle force with the Wookiees. What is it? I think maybe I go
just like playing with a handicap.
Yeah. Huh? I do. It stops me from being too competitive, which turns me into a horrible person. So, yeah,
sure. Well, I'm playing Empire for our. Actually, Empire has a lot for tomorrow. We've got. Looks like, and I could say this because this is going to come out afterwards, whatever. So we got 3 Rebels, 3 Empire, 2 Republic, 1 Shadow Collective, and 1 CIS. So
yeah,
Empire and Rebel are pretty popular.
Yeah,
which tracks. Like most of the time, Empire has a very heavy showing at my store. It's very popular.
Yeah. So we're kind of almost at an hour now anyway. So how do you feel about New Legion now that we've had nearly a month, 3 weeks since?
I mean, all of the little tweaks haven't really come into play yet. I haven't gotten a game in yet. I'll have all my games tomorrow, but it looks. We got the rest of our updates and they all look pretty straightforward, make sense, things like that. So I'm optimistic. I'm excited for tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll say undecided. I'll let you know next time.
Yeah. So I do have one for the people. The area terrain changes. Remember, as soon as you set foot in that area terrain, the physicality of that terrain becomes irrelevant, and they can see you.
Yep. 100%.
So it doesn't matter if you can't draw a line of sight. If you're in that area terrain, they can see you.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's an abstraction.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It was because I was like, I deliberately stepped my Wookiees into the area terrain because I wanted to be able to see out of it, so that I could shoot with. Even combat Wookiees shoot pretty well at range 2, and I wanted to try and catch the arcs or whatever. But I was also hoping that he'd then shoot them because he can see them, but he didn't. He just shot Yoda. He made the correct choice. But it's like, oh, I can't see that. It's like, no, you can, because I'm in the terrain. Now you can see them.
Correct.
Like, it doesn't matter that it was like 2 giant ice crystal-y type things. You can see them.
Yep. Yeah, it's area terrain.
Yeah. As soon as you define it as area, if you go in it, you can both see and be seen. So just as it's the biggest abstract, like the least intuitive change, I would say.
Yeah, I think I like it because it's different than It's just different than we used to play, but I think it because it's a paradigm shift. It'll become more intuitive over time. So it's one of those just new weird things.
I don't know if you remember because it's a long time ago now, but when we first started the cast and we were talking about area terrain then, and my Mandos, I think I lost a game because my opponent introduced the next bullet point down on how the terrain worked every turn. So it's like, I'm in the terrain, so I ignore the effects of it. It's okay, so I'll be in the terrain and shoot out. Oh no, but I'm also in, this feels so much better than that. It feels a lot cleaner and easier to understand and a lot less stages to it. So I don't know. Maybe that'll make me a lot of enemies, but I like it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. So we kind of house rules as how the terrain works for a lot of our buildings to work how area terrain works now.
Yeah.
Like, because we have a lot of windows and things that are open, and like it just got really fiddly when it's like, yeah, I can see all the way through this building. It's just like, nope, you can shoot into the building or you can shoot out of the building, but you cannot shoot all the way through the building. Like, yeah, that's just how we always ruled it at our store, just to make it simple.
Yeah.
So like if someone gets into the building, then you can shoot through the windows and see them.
Yeah, and that's clean.
So this, as soon as this area terrain came out, it's like, oh, that's just how we've been playing buildings. And so now all of our area terrain just functions the way that our buildings worked.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and then before we close out too much, I just wanted to kind of go over, we're not going to nail it down now, but we are both aware that we don't really have a proper recording schedule yet. We're going to try and get back to a more regular recording, especially I'm playing again now, so I'm more motivated.
Yep.
Alan is playing and not just swooing, so he's more motivated. The thing we were waiting to happen happened. So we're coming good on our end. We just need to kind of line up. So like this is on a weekend. It's 8 p.m. my time now. So like 1:30 in the afternoon for you, something like that. Yeah. So we're going to try and see what weekend days work, if we can kind of make it a regular thing without impacting either one of our lives too much. We're looking at doing this video cast. Hopefully the quality will get better. I'm still waiting for broadband. So this is
oh my.
it's not the most reliable, so if there's stuttering in the video and stuff, I can only apologize. So I'm heading down to UK Games Expo, so I'm going to try and line up another chance to chat to people from AMG there, as well as other companies. I'm awaiting comment from Asmodee. for stuff. So I'm trying to do my end to keep the productivity and content flowing for DiceHate. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Hopefully you guys are too. Lots of people read my articles, so it's been good. I've been enjoying writing.
Solid articles.
Yeah. So I do have some Legion content planned, and it's not just all crying about Wookiees. It's fine. Why am a Wookiee so bad? An op-ed by Chris Sheriff. But yeah, it's been cool. And yeah, I think I have an idea for our next topic already, because I kind of been going through, catching up on all of the other people's interviews and everything after we did ours, and trying to piece together all those, Freudian slips and different things. And I'm determined to be correct on one of that gauntlet that was thrown about us having no idea what's coming. And
and Chris took that personally.
And Chris took that personally.
It's like the Michael Jordan meme. It was like, and I took that personal.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy. All right, here we go.
Yeah. So, I do believe that on our last show, I probably am wrong. And Alan was correct to pick out the Cody box as a good example as why those 3 Shadow Collective models might just be on their own. Oh, I feel
they were
like
already hard plastic. Yeah, that was my thought.
Yeah, you might score a win on that one, but I do have a better one. I have a better one, and we can talk about it next time.
Tune in next time.
That's it. Got to get those hooks in. Oh, yeah. And look, if you're not blind, you can deploy a Garrison and also watch us on YouTube.
Yeah, true. We're here now. Hello.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. I should have said this earlier at the start, but obviously, like, comment, subscribe. Give us all of those algorithm boosts, because I need to build it up if AMG are going to keep coming on. So if you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe. This will be the end card, so you can't see my face anymore. Bye.